We're better than that one.
This is for site.
We're better than that one.
Yeah, well, it gets better. After 20 years, 4 weeks, department heads receive 3 week at hire or promotion. So they give them 3 weeks right off the bat. Sick leave is accrued. This is a killer. I mean, surprise to me when I say it's a killer. Sick leave is accrued monthly for an annual total of 80 hours for regular 40-hour employees. Public safety accrues 96 hours annually, and sick leave can roll over to a maximum of 240 or 288, depending on the category. So they're not even, we don't even come close to that. And initially, as you pointed out, ours was better, but theirs, they're offering.
They say they pack it, we don't have it.
You know, in essence, you get 2 weeks vacation in this particular case, and 2 weeks sick leave right off the bat. And that, if you don't use it, I mean, I can only take back to what I remember years ago. Sick leave, you didn't use it, you lost it, didn't carry over. All right, so let's see. Annual leave is, this is City of Milton. Annual leave is PTO, which is based on vacations, personal business activities, and other personal activities. During the first 10 years of employment, annual leave accrues at a rate of 6 2/3 6 points per month for a total of 80 hours per year. And after 10 years of employment, annual leave accrues at a rate of 10 hours per month for a total of 120 hours per year.
3 weeks a year.
And then, so that's
3 weeks a year, yeah.
So then sick leave is PTO, which is to be used for the bona fide illness or injury or other medical related necessities. And I'll cut to the rate. Sick leave accrues at 6.67 hours per month for a total of 80 hours per year. Annual leave cash out, they cash out their employees each November. Employees with at least 1 year of service as of July 1st may cash out up to 40 hours of annual leave, as long as the remaining annual leave balance after cash out is at least 40 hours. So we've gone to that similar thing. We used to only let you carry 40 hours. Now we allow you to carry over 80 hours. But you can see that's rather different from what we offer. And that's similar to what Louisville, Georgia offers. And then let's see. This is Louisville, Georgia. Unpaid leave will not be approved under North Search all requests. Eligibility section: paid time off, exempt employees time off hours. Let me cut down to the chase. Basically, this, here's theirs up to 1 year. These are all, remember, we all use formulas. So interestingly, a regular full-time employee, and they also offer regular part-time employees vacation time as well, not the same formula. Regular full-time employees up to 1 year. Interesting, 4.88 per pay period equals 126 hours a year. So that's 3 weeks. 1 through 4 years, 6.27, or it generates 163. 5 through 9 years, 200. 10 through 14 years, 253, and 15 or more, 307. Well, so I want to stop right there and say, for us, the problem is, if we were to adopt something as broad as that is, I don't have any help to, you know, these are bigger communities and they have people to take their place. And then we, you know, I told you already, they actually offer part-time, and I think that's an issue we don't have right now, because we really don't, although we have 2 part-time employees, we use obviously Amy and Wayne, but we haven't been paying part-time, so that's something y'all may want to make a note of, because these are all policy decisions. Here's another one: regular full-time employees over per year, regular full-time 240, part-time 120, and they have fire and police as well. Rate of pay for, this is interesting too, I saw this in a couple of places where they'll pay back, they'll sell back your PTO hours. 1 to 16 hours, 100%. 17 to 32 hours, 75%. So they're paying you 75 cents on a dollar. Or 33 to 48 hours, they're paying you 33%. ask me if as an employee, I'd be happy with that. I mean, you know, but, let's see, that goes other, so let's see. This is from Flowery Branch, year one, per pay period, equals 2 weeks for year one during year two through year four, 4 weeks, year 5 through year 9, 6 weeks,
Oh,
and,
wow.
and 10 years or after 8 weeks.
Need to go work Flowery Branch.
Like I said,
That's a lot of
They
vacation.
don't work, they take vacation all year.
I know.
Also, personal sick leaves are combined. 0 to 5 years of employment, 12 days. So that's 6 to 10 years of employment, 18 days, 11 to 20 years of employment, 24 days, 20 plus years of employment, 27 days. Vacation, they add 1 year, they give you 5 days, 2 to 6 years employment, 10 days. So 7 years of employment, 15 days. So in essence, 27, 32, 42 days, you could have 42 days of leaving out there. Ooh. Clarksville, 1 month to 1 year, 3.69. So that's equal to, and they pay bi weekly. So the way that works out is that they end up getting 1 year or 1 week, 1 to 5 years, 2 weeks, 6 years to 10 years. Let's see, almost 3 weeks, 11 years, 15, 4 weeks, 16 to 20 years, holy mackerel, 21 years and over. Eesh. So I was surprised by all this, needless to say. City of Helen, from the date of hire, up to 5 years, 12 hours per month, 144 hours per year. From 5 to 10 years, 14 hours a month, 168 hours a year. 10 to 20 years, 10 to 20 years, 16 hours a month, 192 years. And after 20 years, 20 hours per month, 240 hours per year. There's more. Claremont.
That's what the side of the city about that one, in Claremont.
What's that?
Claremont's more the side of the city about it.
Yep, so they give PTO and sick leave. They give 40 hours of personal time off, and they give 80 hours of sick leave, for a total of 120. They accrue, well, obviously double for sick leave. And then they do offer part-time employees 2 to 5 years. You get a total of 160 hours. And then 5 to 10 years, they get a total of 200 hours. And interestingly enough, 10 plus years, the same thing, you get 200 hours, so it's not increased. So, surprising. City of Baldwin, I think theirs was kind of hard to understand because they've got them all broke up. So rate of accrual for 8-hour employee, 1 to 3 years, personal leave is 80 hours, and 3 to 8 years, 120 hours, 8 years, or 160 hours.
So kind of my thoughts is if we take and drop the 10, move what we've got up, does that make sense? So this would be 15,
That is,
18, 20, and then come up with this one. So like the 60, a year and a half, move our 15 up to that slot, the 18 up to the 2 to 5, and the 20 up to the 5 to the 10. Would that put a bad hurting on it as far as
the problem,
scheduling?
well, you'll hear a little bit more about that, but I mean, this is something that's a policy decision, what y'all need. So
Right.
what were you gonna say, what is gonna be the 20-year mark? I got
I didn't say that one.
okay, 15, 18.
So we jumped 3 days before on it, so I would say maybe, let's see. Maybe put that at 25. Maybe put it at 25, that would give 5 more days.
So this is
I don't know.
kind of a math equation, and I had to do the math on it, but the problem is like the board I have up in there right now, there's not enough of us to go around.
Right.
This week, as an example, I got 2 openings in staff, and I've got 2 employees on vacation.
That's what I'm saying. Is that gonna just like
Yeah,
gonna,
it's gonna hurt, but I mean,
Right.
we just gotta, you know, you can almost, I can do the math, and it's gonna tell you whether or not you have to hire another position just to cover that. And obviously, some of these bigger cities, they don't have this issue. you know,
Right.
Not like we do. You know, when they're, like at the waste treatment plant, you know, we got 2 over there. We want 3, but we got 2 over there. It's just impossible, you know, and at the same time, this is the competition we're in. So I can do the math and get back
And
with y'all
Steve?
on that.
We don't have to stay a little bit competitive to get employees. to
Yeah,
keep
you gotta,
employees.
I mean, that's the problem we're gonna talk about just in a
can't,
minute. It's killing
You
us.
can't be uncompetitive and keep and hire employees without being competitive.
You wanna take care of the employees you got.
right.
Then come in and work 26 weeks and get 3 weeks off vacation time. That's proposed. They come in and work 26 weeks, take 3 weeks off and go somewhere to find another job.
What about that one city where
Yeah.
your department head, you start with 3 weeks, man? That's
Well,
kinda
the thing is,
sweet.
this is sweet and, sweet. You said sweet and I did too. Sick and vacation together, so it's not. I
Which
mean,
is the question, do we wanna have separate sick leave?
and that might be beneficial, that way it's not,
Hey, I'm open to anything, you know, I'm the
I'm
one that
just,
benefits from it, so.
I think your personal opinion should be together,
you think it should be together?
that vacation part. They can do something else, but the personal sick leave, that personal leave you can take off whether it's sick, whether you're sickness or not.
That's another, if
Yeah, the way we've got it right now, it's all together, vacation, personal, sick, and all.
Right.
you says.
And it might
sick days, you gotta
benefit
Make
the-
sure they're sick. You gotta verify the doctor's excuse, stuff like that for sick leave.
That's right,
No,
You gotta verify what they're telling you.
that's
you'd
right.
have personal vacation and
You
then
gotta-
you're sick
Gotta
on,
verify nothing.
yeah.
I'm sure that's why I want you to discuss.
Well, it does say if you're out more than, on your 3rd day, you still have to give me a doctor's excuse, even if you're using personal leave.
So if you personally, you gotta have a doctor,
If it's 3 days. We call it unexcused absences, which you can use personal leave for. If you look up on the board, it says UL, it says, you know, personal leave. So you can, I mean, either way, you're using your own personal leave
So they schedule 3 days off in a row, they still gotta bring you a doctor's excuse?
if they're out because of illness.
Okay,
Yes.
but, okay.
So what would you suggest? If you separated it, how many of it be sick, how many vacation, personal?
The last place I worked, we had this type of deal, it was the hospital where we worked. Sick days and personal days. Same vacation, you didn't have a vacation, all of it, you could build it up to vacation.
It was personal leave.
It was just
you make it
plain personal, yeah.
It was just plain personal.
That's how it was at Walmart.
You accrued, you had to work so many hours, 40, like we got here, 40 hours a week, you accrued so much time. It was 1 day for 40 hours, but I mean, that it was a lot better than what we got here, but I was just giving you an example of what we had. The last place I worked at had that, but, what they gonna have to understand, no matter what we come up with, if you've done used up these days, you can't go back and you can't come back and pick these others up, and that's what they're saying. They can't accrue it if you've out enough. You can't accrue the days if you're out not working. You can't accrue the days.
Yeah, the computer takes care of that because it only
Yeah, but they
generates.
need to
If you turn in 30 hours, it's only give you a fraction of
They
what
need to
it is.
understand that though.
Well, they do. They, trust me, and just to point this out, we have not had this complaint until recently. I mean, everybody actually enjoys the idea that you can take your personal leave. You just got to tell me well in advance so we can schedule. You know, like this week as an example, we had a third employee that wanted to be off this week, and they were the last one to walk in. Well, I couldn't give them because it hurt us, but everybody wants to be, this is spring break week, so everybody wants to be off this week.
I've heard some people, not just here, but several other places. Well, I can't work enough to get, I can't accrue enough time. But if you work, you can accrue enough time.
Well, that's part of the problem we've had with that one employee is that they, you know, take off 4 hours here and 4 hours there. And that, you know, after a while that ends up,
And that's what I'm saying about understanding that if you take off, you losing,
yep,
you're not accruing when you're taking off.
yeah, if you get the top notch here and you go to 25 hours, you can basically say that, you know, yeah, 25 days, somebody loves me.
It's 5 weeks.
That's our, he's giving me a quote on something. We can listen to that later. But, you know,
That's a lot to me.
that's a half a day I mean, basically that's a half a day every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was shocked
Yeah, that's,
when I started seeing this. I mean, I had no idea. But, you know, where they can't make it up in, you know, maybe hourly, you know, obviously that they're giving a benefit back to here. So, came as a surprise.
I don't know if it would benefit or anything for anybody, but I know Hall County, we have what we call a sick bank where you can donate
And we've done the same thing here.
for those that
Yep.
need more time that
I've
don't have
given
it.
away a ton of my time. I think that was under your tenure, Mr. Jim.
They've done that. Yeah, so like at the beginning of the fiscal year, then you can enter the sick bank and you donate like 2 of your sick days in it. If you've got it to donate, they just keep it in a pot for those that have major something go on.
And that speaks very well of the employees.
Yeah. I don't know. Do your numbers, see if that's something workable or not.
Yeah, I have to do the math on, so there's two things y'all need to remember. As you carry time over, it actually ends up on your audit sheet over anything over $10,000 because it's a liability back
Right.
to the city. So the only other question is, do we want to divide, do we want to go back to sick leave and, sick leave and vacation leave?
It may be that we need to, that way. Usually sick leave accrues. Does it accrue now? I mean,
Well,
over
some
the
of the
year?
cities that did, the majority of the cities that
It
we
rolled
have
over.
here, yeah,
And so if we split it,
Yes,
then
ma'am.
you wouldn't have as many rolling.
yep. The interesting thing is, and I didn't see it in everybody's, you know, sick leave's there, but it doesn't mean you can cash out on it once you leave. But I would think you would, wouldn't y'all?
You did
Post
through
office.
Hall
Post
County.
office.
When I quit
Post
Hall
office.
County,
Yeah, I would
They-
think so too.
Well, you should
they
be able to
cashed
come.
I mean,
out my
kind of
sick leave.
silent on them, but I mean, I can go back and ask these.
Yeah, they cashed out at Hall County when I left Hall
60
County.
days already.
Yeah. When, construction department closed, they shut the construction department down, and they laid us all off. He had, 265 days accrued.
I had a friend of mine, it was the district engineer for DOT. When he retired, he had over 3 years of comp time.
And,
And they wouldn't pay it out bulk. He had to take it as, you know, and he got benefits through that whole time. It was a sweet
That's
deal.
what I did when I retired.
Is it?
I had no personal time left.
Man.
6 months personal.
Yeah,
time.
what a way to go.
Got papers sitting on my butt.
Yeah. All right, so do we want to split it up? Is that what y'all saying?
I think so. That way you don't have quite as much.
And maybe the cap is Denise's cap, maybe 15 after the year and a half or 2 years, then 18 after 5
Yeah,
years.
that's,
Let that be the total sick and,
yeah, total sick and 15.
So the 15 is
20,
total sick leave
And
and,
vacation,
Vacation.
yeah, that would be the total, and then figure out how to.
so you thinking, I'm not putting words in your mouth, you thinking 2 weeks?
half,
I think so,
half
tick,
sick leave, half of, no, a third of sick leave and the rest of vacation is what I'm thinking.
Well, it's kind of opposite in there, that's the interesting thing, they're giving everybody 2 weeks. The majority of them are
vacation,
sick,
I mean, of sick,
Yeah.
yeah,
and then
well,
you accrued
because-
more, you know, some of them were just 2 weeks period, but they allowed it to accrue.
I think so, but, all right, so if you get COVID, you have to be off 5 days, and that the thing, you
That's changed a
quarantine.
little bit now, but yes, that's what we all
So-
knew it to be.
Or somebody-
That's one sickness, and then you've
or
used
somebody
5 days.
that had a major sickness and
Strep, you're looking at least
3 days.
2 to 3 days for strep. So I think it's
For each
better to
kid.
have,
For each kid.
that's true, if you have kids.
Is this what you're saying, a total of 2 weeks generated each year, like in this case, the first year would be 15 days, 2 weeks of which would be sick leave, 1 week would be vacation. Year 2 through 5 would be 2 weeks sick leave and 8 days of vacation, is that what you're saying? So every year it'd be 2 weeks of sick leave, and those would accrue?
I mean, I understand.
We can figure that.
What are you thinking?
Well, that's what everybody else is doing. They're all doing the damn
Yeah.
accrual over here. Shocked
I
me.
think it should be a true cause.
I know mine accrues.
Mine did
Well, then
too.
don't look surprised.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
mine did too.
I work at post office.
Somebody had a major sickness.
Oh, yeah, well, and we've always taken care of everybody with a major sickness.
But what
I
I'm
mean,
saying is they really got
we hadn't had that issue. So is that what you're saying? So 2 weeks
sick leave.
sick annually, and they can carry that over if they don't use it, right? And then the balance of that would be, like, first year would be 5 days, second year would be 8 days, third year would be 10 days, or third portion, 5 to 10 years would be 10 days, and then 25 would be 15 days at 11 to 20. Is that right? So let's do the math on that, we'll see,
Let's see
and I'll
what
get
it
it
does.
back to you. All right, so one leads to the other. So the other one is staffing and recruitment. We get squat for applications. We're not getting any, not even to consider. And, you know, it's taking its toll for the very reason we're talking about. Last week, we had an employee that, well, they had PT, I don't want to say too much, but anyway. And they came to me and said, so do you want me to cancel that? I'm never going to tell an employee to cancel, you know, and I said, absolutely not. But, you know, it added to the void we already had. They took their their, you know, PT as they should. But man, this is killing us. I mean, and we're not the only, everybody's suffering the same malady. So, you know, we straighten this vacation bee, that'll be another benefit deal, but, you know, somehow or another, you know, I think we ought to start looking at paying an incentive if our employees bring an employee on and they stay here 6 months, just throwing ideas out there. And then both the employee and the new employee might get a benefit after 6 months.
And
I mean, because it's
yeah.
killing me right now.
A lot of places are doing that right
Yeah.
now too.
That'll help out, that'll give the employees time to get somebody in here and they give us, the future employee a little incentive to take the job.
Amen.
Yep.
A little more coming in.
Because we have what, one position at the
We got one at
wastewater?
wastewater and one
One
short in
here.
the back.
We don't have any applications coming in.
I'm interviewing an 18-year-old tomorrow, and I just
Is it
don't feel good about
from the website or from the Indeed or somewhere
it.
else?
No, I don't advertise on Indeed not for local jobs like this.
Strictly website and posted.
Who I posted, yeah.
But
And I mean, we don't even get knocks on the door. See, years ago, well, not even years ago, 2 years ago, you were on unemployment, you had to fill out we'd get somebody coming in here every other week. but they don't even require that anymore. So that's become a challenge for us to even generate anybody.
Maybe help one as a newspaper.
So
Other cities
we have
do
not
that.
found them successful.
But I didn't know, I'm learning.
Oh, I'm open to it, but it's very expensive to advertise
Oh,
in the
yeah, I
newspaper.
know.
And the number of people that you get back, just, you know, it just,
Well, my opinion is the word of mouth is best.
well, which goes back to the employee, and giving them incentive to bring somebody on. And then they have a vested interest
Hey,
in
man,
my new
hey,
friend
man,
here.
this is a good place to work,
Right. I think that makes a world of difference.
Well, word of mouth is better in any business you're in.
Yep.
No matter what you get doing, that's the best advertisement you can get.
So I know I'm just springing on y'all, but you might want to think about, you got to make it worthwhile.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, do you have a dollar amount in mind?
I don't, but don't tell me it's going to be $20.
Oh,
Tell me
no.
it's going to be
No.
200.
They-
Something,
they-
No, I
Day's pay.
I don't even know what days pays
I
enough.
won't do it, I won't get it.
I was,
You know, you want something, let me tell you, we keep an employee for
We-
6 months, he's ours forever.
most
Because he's learned by
places,
then, we're going to take care of it.
yeah, most places, I think it's usually around 2 to 250. I think is what a lot of places do.
Day's pay. Basically what that is. Think about what it's roughly a day's pay. Am I wrong?
If you're making,
$12, yeah,
$12
Well,
a day's pay, but,
$250.
$250, that ain't a day's pay, that's,
Well, it is for some of our
30 bucks an hour,
employees,
is a day's
certainly.
pay.
But, and
We're
we
not paying
don't
30
have
bucks
that
an
many employees getting that rate of pay, so. But something that's gonna,
yeah, but you got a lower grade pay, man. If you,
and we want to treat them all equal,
that's what I'm saying.
in fairness to them.
If you get a day's pay for a $10 hour man, you got a $20 hour man, he gonna get more than the,
If
So you need-
$20 man is one that recommends a $10 hour man, why not? What's wrong with that? You gonna get both the same pay.
Oh, I'm not saying the same pay, I'm saying that the incentives
Same
should be enough
incentive
to
should be the
motivate the
same.
employee to
Yeah.
bring them on board. And for the new employee to recognize there's a benefit. I was reading something over the weekend and it had nothing to do with this, but it was talking about, they pay, had nothing to do with this. So another community, it was interesting, I was looking at this stuff. They pay a Christmas, well, basically Christmas bonus, we don't call it that anymore, right? So if you stay 6 months, you become eligible for it, and then they have a formula just like that. And they pay it out on December 1st. So they don't lose any employees between July 1 and December 1st. Now, they might leave after December 1st, but they're sticking around for that, because of that Christmas or holiday bonus. So, that was kind of smart on their part.
I'd say $200
After 6 months,
after 6 months,
Joe,
both.
That's fine with me.
Denise,
I'm good with that.
Both of them both had to be in 6 months.
I guess I'll be exempt because I do all the hiring. Is that what y'all are trying to say? I said it for you. Hey, I think that's a great offer. After 6 months. We might be surprised and find out that's not as good as we thought it would be. Like I said, I was surprised with this other jump.
Let me see.
Anything else on human resources?
I think so. I don't have anything.
Joe?
That's for each employee.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, so it'll be for the
The
new
hire.
employee and for the employee that brought them on. Well, I could get into arguments about who brought them on.
You see it coming.
That's all right. We'll let them, that's a good problem.
Whoever hired, they need to put down who recommended them and brought them in.
Well, I think this is kind of pays a benefit too. If they're worth their salt, they'll be here for 6 months. You're not just hiring somebody to hire somebody and paying out right up front. Good enough. Dennis. Know what I'm doing. All right, so all those numbers I'm gonna share with finance, but I, so when I give them to y'all, I'm gonna give them to them as well. Which I know some of the finance are in the room today.
Not that.
So,
Just-
oh, did you get the checks? What, before I forget about it?
To be signed?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there were supposed to be some checks back here. She said she left. I didn't get here until 4:05. Oh, they're right here. They're right here. Then she left in her here, but she met at 9.
Here, I can work on them.
All righty, downtown beautification. That would be Tony, the mayor.
Without Chip.
How about,
He's,
how about beautification of Tony and the mayor?
well, there's not that much to report other than we looked at the banners and we left it up to, Tony and, Chip. The idea was, we do a number of banners, at least seasonally or something along that line, right? Right, Tony?
Yes. Pardon?
How you today? I got here late and then we can check all that shit.
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, nice. I got it. Wait till I get there, I guess. It's still limit signs.